Alright guys, so in this tutorial we're going to figure out how to create this grid view right here. So it's kind of like the collection view that we used to have, or something you might see on the on Instagram, for instance, on someone's profile page. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This is the finished code. It should all in all be about 140 lines. Not too bad. That includes all the sample data that I created. Okay, so you're going to have to create your own sample data. This is very static data, but you can create this programmatically as dynamic data as well. I'm just showing you how to create it with static data, and you can kind of feed in your own data accordingly, right? So the only thing I'm going to really copy over without kind of talking about is just the data, all right? So I took all that data, and let's go ahead and start a new project. So new project, single view app. Okay, I'm going to call this one code tutorial underscore grid collection view. Okay, go to my desktop. I will create it. Okay, first things first, I'm just going to straight up put that right there, okay? Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to create a second struct here, okay? So this struct is going to be called, we'll call this RowView, okay? And if we look at this structure, the way it's written is view, okay? And then inside we have var body some view, okay? And then inside of here for now, we'll just put text that says hello. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this and get rid of that so we can have a little more room to work. Alright, I'm gonna take the sample data, I'm just gonna fold it on itself so that way we can work easier. Okay, so we're gonna need a couple different things. Let's look at what we had on the other one. We're gonna need to tell how many items there are per row. I'm gonna go ahead and just minimize. I'm gonna keep it here so I minimize it. So I need to tell how many items there are per row. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll say underneath the contents, I'll say items per row will be equal to, let's do 3 for now. Okay, in the body, let's just put text. Or even, let's just put RowView for now. Okay. There we go. Now, for RowView, what I'm going to need to do is let's go ahead and set up RowView as nicely as we can. Okay, so let's just say, let's look at what we had here. So, RowView is going to have some contents. It's going to have items per row, which it will be fed from above. Okay, and then it's going to be an H stack with the number of items inside. So we're going to have items per row. Okay, it will be CG float. Okay, above it'll just be an int, and then we'll pass it forward as a CG float. Okay, the other one will be var, and then it'll say contents. So contents, and then any view. Okay, this other one is any view. It knows that because of its contents, but I'm just going to write that so it's explicit. It actually helps speed things up within the code when you do things like that. Okay, so that's that. Then let's look at what's going to be inside. So we're going to have an H stack inside. Okay, and for here, let's just put items per row. Let's call that 3. Okay, the H stack inside will say we'll have a for each loop. Okay, here for contents, let's give it, for now, let's just put an empty array. Okay, actually, we're not even going to put that for now. I'm just going to make this say equals, okay, any view. Okay. I'll pick 3 of these. I'm just going to take any 3 of these. Is equal to following. So I'm just giving you some random sample data. So I'm giving it any view with an image inside that's resizable and scaled to fill. Okay. So for each, first of all, I'll give this a spacing of 0. Okay. So for each, we're going to run through the contents, and we're going to make sure we have I in here so we can actually get the exact item. So we'll say for each 0 dot less than contents dot count. Okay, I in, and then it will return contents I. Okay, and then the biggest thing is we need to have a frame of it needs to have its width will be equal to the width of the screen divided by the items per row. So that's how it's divided into thirds, and its height, so it's perfectly square, will also be dependent on the width of the screen, items per row. And we're going to need to clip it, okay? So we should see dot frame, okay? And width, height, okay, and the UI screen dot main dot bounds dot width divided by items per row. There we go. And that's definitely going to ask me to put self as one side of the closure. So there we go. Okay. Let's hit resume, see what we get. We're getting there. Okay, we have 3 items in here so far. We do not see them there. So let's keep going. From here, we'll say dot clipped. Okay, let's keep moving. We'll figure out what's going on. I'm going to put that for now underneath. Okay. And then, I'll tell you what's happening. So it's trying to add images, but I haven't put the images. So for me, I have my own sample. I just picked some random images off of Pixabay, okay? So I just picked some random images and I named them images 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to grab all those. I'm going to open up my image asset library first. Image asset library. Assets. Okay. I'm going to grab all those and I'm going to put them in. So you can do the same thing. Just pick any random set of images. Okay. So I put them in my assets library. They're saved. So now when I go back to content view, this says image 1, image 2, image 3. It's referring to those images. Okay. So now we should see our 3 images. There's my 3 images. Okay. So it's only one row and it's based off of very static data. So they're static, at least, relative to what we'll be getting up here. Okay. So now let's set up some other functions here. Okay. So we're going to go back to here and we're going to look at 2 new functions. Okay. We're going to get the row count and we're going to get what's in each row. So we're going to go to get row count. Okay. And let's create that function together. So say func get row count. Okay. And we'll say numerator will be an int and denominator. Denominator will be an int. Okay. And it'll spit back an int. We'll say if the numerator divided by the denominator is equal to 0. So what we're saying is if the number, what we're going to feed into the numerator will be the number of views, and the denominator will be the items per row. So we'll say if the 2 are perfectly divisible, okay, so if that's true, so this is the if the remainder, okay, so if the remainder of that divided by that is equal to 0, then just return the numerator divided by the denominator, okay, else return numerator, first let's do that, grab the whole thing, same thing, plus 1, okay, so what we're saying is this, when you do this division, if it's perfectly divisible, we'll get the exact number of rows, but if it's not, we'll actually get 1 short. So I'll hit resume, okay, we shouldn't see any visual changes yet, but I'm going to go ahead and minimize this content so it's not in our face, and then I'll say vstack. Okay, and the vstack will have a for each. We'll say 0 dot dot get row count. Okay, and the numerator is going to be contents dot count. The denominator will be items per row. Okay, and then we'll say I in, and say get, and then RowView. Okay, so there we go. So it's created the proper number of rows at this point, okay? So now, let's pick a smaller number of items here just so we know. So I had the same amount of data duplicated twice so I could turn it into a scroll view. I'm just going to get rid of my second copy of it. So now I just have items 1 through 12. Okay, so if I have 12 items, then I should see 4 rows because I have 3 per row. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That's perfect, okay? So I'll save that, and I just want to give this a spacing of 0, spacing 0. All right. So now they're all right next to each other. And the next thing I want to do is the get row content. Okay. So I'll say func get row content. Okay, and this one will return any view. Okay, so let's look at what we had here. So I had it named get rows, but I'm gonna name it get row content, and I need to know what row number we're on and how many items there are per row. So say row number int, and then items per row int. Okay, and from there, we'll inside of here we'll put a return, and then any view. Return, sorry. This is going to return that. So we need it to return an array of any views, okay? And so, because that will be fed down here into contents, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to create an array of return items, okay? So return items is going to be equal to that. Okay. Then we'll say for I and 0 dot items per row, return items dot append, and this is going to be any view. So we're going to add some items to it, and then we're going to return the return items. There we go. And we'll say let item index equal, it'll be the row number times the items per row plus I, and then item index. So that's properly setting the offset every time, and that is adding exactly which view we're looking for. Okay. So return contents dot or contents item number item index. Okay, so that should properly give us the row content. Okay. And then now we can actually feed get row content into the row view here. So I'm going to get rid of the static content that row view had. Okay, so now row view up here is going to be asking me for a second parameter called contents, and its contents will now be get row content. The row number will be I, and the items per row will be equal to items per row. Okay. And it's just going to ask me to say self. And there we go. So let's hit resume and see what we get. And there we go. So we have all the images in their proper order. So images 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now it ran through and created those. Okay. And if you want to turn it into a scroll view, it's a really easy solution. All you have to do is put it in scroll view. Okay, but make sure it's scroll view with an VStack inside. Don't just go straight to the scroll view to the for each, because you can't control the spacing if you do that. Okay, and that automatically tosses it to the top. And I'll just double how many views I have in here just so you can see that it is now actually scrollable. So I'll hit resume, play. Okay, there you go. Completely scrollable, and you could add your own content in here. Now the biggest thing here is I used very static data. You don't need to use static data like this. You could have, somehow, let's pretend you're using Firebase Firestore, right? And Firestore storage, and storage helped you grab JPEG data that you had previously uploaded, right? So if you downloaded 15 different images, all those you could programmatically be creating this array, okay, of contents, okay, and you could just keep inserting these any views and those would constantly be fed inwards. Okay, and that's how you'd almost try to do that with an Instagram style app to create the me view or the account view. All right, so if you have any questions for me, please put them in the comments below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.